Okay, so we'll move on now. We'll talk proper football actually on the pitch football here, and we'll move on to the Kilmarnock preview on Saturday. Now, it feels like about 3 weeks ago, the Hamilton game. It's been absolutely torture this week. Cammy, how important is it that we get that out our mind? In fact, we don't get out our mind. We remember how we felt at 2 o'clock on Sunday, and we go and take that out in Kilmarnock on Saturday.
I would hope the players are as frustrated and disappointed. I mean, I think Griggsy summed it up for us in his post-match. I think this week in training, I think we'll have been competitive. I'm expecting us to come out the traps first 10, 15, 20 minutes. I'm expecting us to really have a high tempo, get the ball moving. The creative players have to be on it, whereas they were posted missing at the weekend. But we start the game strong. We'll win by 2 or 3 goals on Saturday. I've no doubt about it.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Cammy says there. I think we'll have to come out the blocks really, really quickly. Hopefully go 2 or 3 up, kind of relatively early in the game. Then start making some changes with the Antwerp game in mind. But we'll have to really start the game, properly. I mean, I can't remember the last game we really started on fire, if you like. And
Ross County at home, wasn't it?
Probably Ross County at home.
Mm-hmm.
But because we've started really, really slowly the last couple of games, so we really need to be at it. I mean, I think it'll be difficult because with Tommy Wright coming in to Kilmarnock's not won a game this year. I don't even think they've got a point this year. So he's going to have to obviously just want to get any kind of positive results. So he'll quite happily just sit with 11 men behind the ball and see what happens and take a 0-0 if he can get it. So we need to go out, as Cammy says, from the off, get an early goal, then they can't sit in. And then just see where that takes us. But I'm also fairly confident we'll win the game quite handily. But we need to have one eye on Thursday as well, because that's massive.
I agree with Scott. I agree with Wolf. We need to start the game positive. We need to get a result. I'm almost so much like you two. I'm a bit more nervous. I just kind of get that feeling. I think it's just the last 10 years it's done me in. I'm just really nervous until I know everything's completely mathematically possible. I'm going to be nervous, so I'm always the same. I thought against Hamilton it was poor, so we're going to have to come out the traps and go to Kilmarnock, try and get if we get an early goal, the game should be there for us. As long as the game goes on, I think it could be a struggle. I think the pleasing thing for Rangers on Saturday is no fans in the stadium. It's getting to this type of season, especially guys like myself, you start to panic after 5-10 minutes in the groans and the moans. So I think maybe having no fans there might actually help us. So hopefully Gerrard gets his players kicked up the bum this week and they come out firing like Al McGregor was in the interview. So I'm hoping for a good victory.
I think that the fear of Alan McGregor should get them a goal start. If you're not flying out the traps, then there's something wrong with you. You probably don't deserve to be our football club after Sunday's performance. Now, Wolf, don't want to hang up on it. We've had 4 draws, but we've always kind of had a positive result after a setback, if you like. You're saying you're confident. What needs to be different on Saturday from Sunday, apart from the result, obviously?
we need to be on it. The midfield needs to get into the game. I mean, the midfield was completely posted missing at Hamilton till they started making substitutions, which the manager admitted himself was down to team selection. He said he left too many personalities on the bench. But I mean, when I saw the team, I thought that'll take care of Hamilton.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I don't know anybody that didn't think that. So you can't really blame the manager too much. But we need to be on it. The midfield needs to be on it. We just need to play football. And if we play with football, I mean, we're 100% at Ibrox this season in the league. There's no reason that shouldn't continue.
I think the attitude, to be honest, on Sunday was the biggest negative for me. I think it was very lackadaisical. I think the players went out with the attitude, we don't have to actually roll our sleeves up here, and actually we just have to turn up and we're going to win the game. You know what I mean? It's like somebody said very early in the season, only Rangers will stop themselves this season. And Sunday was the classic example for me. You know, the attitude was miles off it from the start, and you know, I don't blame the gaffer at all. That team selection for me was more than good enough on paper to take care, and I can understand why he left out Jack coming back after 2 months injury. Steve Davis, you know, he can't play every single match, so he was trusting in the guys that he'd selected to do the job, and they didn't. But there was guys in that team on Sunday that have no missed a game. You know, Tav, Kent, Golson. I don't think any of them had a good game, to be honest with you. You know, so I think it was very easy to pick on Zungu, for example. I think he was the whipping boy for everybody on social media post match, but it wasn't down to one individual. It was collectively. I don't think that we worked hard enough, and I think if we work hard enough, our natural talent will always shine through. But you need to work hard.
That's right. If you don't work hard, doesn't matter how much ability you've got, you're not going to get anywhere. You need that, you need hard work. But the team should have beat Hamilton on Sunday, we never. And like the manager said, apart from McGregor and the subs, nobody had passed marks. So they need to come out a different attitude on Saturday. They know they're close to getting something this season, which some of the players have never won anything before. And they're very close. You don't know if they're nervous as well. That's all. I've said that to people. I don't know. You don't know if the players are nervous. It's different being a professional. Maybe you should have a different side. Being a professional in the park, you don't think of that stuff. But it's only natural. It's only natural. They've not won anything before. So maybe be looking a bit closer than they should be. So maybe have to listen to people like Al McGregor, Stephen Davis. Take a step back. Take a game at a time, and things will happen. Don't look too far ahead.
Well, for me, if we're not out the traps like animals after every ball and every Kilmarnock player, then we've done something wrong. Gerrard will hopefully be hammering that home all week that, you know, you need to go and earn your right to win football games. You can't just turn up and steamroll teams over. These are professional football players, obviously with different levels of ability, but they've got a bit of pride about themselves. And Kilmarnock are struggling. But, you know, Rangers is a cup final for every team, so you'll expect them to be better than they have been. Now, Cammy, Tommy Wright's went in there. Wolves touched on it already. Tommy Wright's a decent manager. He's done a great job at St Johnstone. No one can take that away from him. Do you think they'll see a wee bit of bounce back ability with Tommy Wright on Saturday? I know they've already lost to Motherwell.
Well, to be honest, I expected a positive bounce in the game against Motherwell, which it looked as though they were going to get a point, but obviously lost a goal late on. I can see them coming, and I'm not saying being as negative as Motherwell were before Christmas, but I think you'll be facing something very similar. I think the key to the game is scoring early. You score early, then you know it makes it easier, and it makes it harder for them. You know, but the new manager bounce. Nah, it's all about what we do. We start with a tempo and we start with the right attitude. Their quality will shine through, and we'll win the game comfortably.
I agree. Yeah, it's like if you look at Kilmarnock's squad this season compared to the last 5 or 6 seasons, I don't think the quality is there anymore. I think they've lost a lot of quality. They're not replaced it. They're still your thicker and your power. They're getting older and they're just kickers anyway. But they've lost a lot of flair up front, and they've not got as good a players at the back either. And so I don't think it should pose any problems. Like I said earlier, I'm still nervous, so until we're 2-0 up, I'm not going to be sitting smiling.
I'd even be nervous at 2-0 up, and I know we don't lose a lot of goals, but it's just like Scott said, it's just the scar tissue of the last kind of 10 years. But as the lads were saying, Derek, as long as we play our game, work hard, and play football, and we should scoring early would be absolutely brilliant. If we don't score early, we just need to say, okay, it might take a while. I mean, the Motherwell game after we lost the League Cup title, it took us for 70 minutes to score. And then we won fairly comfortably 3-1 at the end of the day.
I couldn't handle another Motherwell. At this stage of the season, I could handle the end result, but that Motherwell game was torturous.
I'm the same, but all I'm saying, Scott, is it might not be. We might not. If we get the early goal, it's not a catastrophe. I want us to score in the first 30 seconds, and that would to me that would be perfect. But if we don't get a goal till the first hour, then it'll be torturous to watch. But as long as the end result is we win the game, that's the important thing.
Well, fingers crossed. We're getting close. But as Scott mentioned, we really need to be one game at a time. Well, if you've mentioned Antwerp, I'd be totally forgetting that game exists until hopefully 60 minutes in and we're 3-0 up, and then we can start to think about it. Now, Ruffin Morelos will be fresh anyway, so we should be okay. Now, Scott, well, that brings us on nicely. I didn't mean that. I'm getting great at this linking, by the way. But Ruffin Morelos are out. We did change things up on Sunday. Brought Zungu in and made a couple of changes there. How do you see us lining up on Saturday? Is it Stephen Davis is starting, I'll tell you that right now, but do you see further changes from the team against Hamilton for Kilmarnock on Saturday?
I think the manager still likes his formation, the way he plays. To me, when you look at Morelos in the team, the formation sometimes doesn't work as well because Alfredo holds the ball up well, brings others into play.
Yeah.
And he's a main man, whereas if you put Atin there, Ruth there, they more like to drift wide, get the ball in those. People don't bounce off them as much. So I think we may have to play a lot more. Tempo has to be higher for a kick-off. But I think we'll all play a turn through middle. We have to really get any other option. Does it go with Kent and Aribo, or does maybe bring in Scott Wright? You have to go with Davis and Jack, even to play, just so we can get the game done. The back four kind of picks itself, doesn't it? Unless it brings in Balogun and Highlander, which I'll maybe do that. But I don't know. It's a conundrum the manager has to pick, but I think I has to give it a chance because he's only one that really get left. Before doing 100% fit. Kent, I wouldn't drop. I know a lot of people have been on his back recently, but I wouldn't drop Ryan Kent because he offers us something we've not got with anybody else. And he can be poor at times offensively, but he's worked right off the ball and defensively. Like, who the hell's out Barisic a lot, so he does. So now I wouldn't drop Ryan Kent. On the other side, I get frustrated with Aribo. Aribo's got so much talent, but he looks lazy at times. He gives up the ball quite easily at times, doesn't chase back, but then he can also do something that gets you off your seat. So I would maybe rest him and bring in Davis, Kamara and Jack and just go with these safety ones just to see how it goes.
That for me is the one that's not really obvious. It's the middle of the park. It's Davis, Jack and one other. I think Kamara's been outstanding. I'm not a huge fan of those three together in a home match against Kilmarnock, but you're missing Scotty Arfield. Huge loss. Huge loss. And I think you could potentially go 4-2-3-1. You know, you could have Davis and Jack slightly deeper with Hadji, Kent and Aribo behind Itten. I think that's a because I think Aribo does his best work the more advanced role, you know. But I think it's that's the question mark for me is who the third midfielder is, because I think it's undoubtedly going to be Jack and Davis.
Well, I'm of similar thinking, but I would say it's more likely it's two out of the three, Jack, Davis and Kamara. It won't be the three of them. Not against Kilmarnock at Ibrox. I tend to agree with Cammy. I think it probably will be Jack and Davis. And I've got a wee sneak that Scott Wright might get a start.
So do I, Will.
Instead of Aribo. You know, I've got a wee feeling they might bring him in because he looked decent when he came on. When he came on Sunday, he did look decent. And I don't think it's nailed on that Big Cedric will start either. I would start him personally, but I think if Defoe's fit, Defoe might get a start.
Is Defoe was close? I know that if he was training this week, it was okay, but I think reading the reports, reading between the lines at Saturday might come too soon for Jermaine Defoe. But I mean,
I don't know if he's back yet. But if he is back, it wouldn't surprise me if he started him. I hope not, because Big Cedric deserves to keep his place in the team. Because although he wasn't great on Sunday, he didn't really have a lot of support or a lot of supply, so we've got to give him a chance.
Yeah, I think that I would go with the 4-2-3-1 actually, and just play Jack and Davis. The tempo when Ryan Jack came on Sunday just totally lifted. He was running about, he was demanding standards. This guy came to us and wanted to win titles, and he's so close to it. I just think that desire gets him the nod in front of Kamara on Saturday. Love Kamara. Kamara will start against Antwerp, stick on. So I think Jack will do that. I think Scott Wright will start in a 3, so 4-2-3-1. I think Kent and I think Hadji and I think Scott Wright will play. I think Aribo will sit this one out, and I think Cedric Itten will play through the middle. Wright got space on that pitch at Hamilton, and a very, very convoluted area and a small pitch. I'm just like that. What can he get on the space against Kilmarnock at Ibrox? And Wolfie always bang on about the dimensions of Ibrox. It's a different playing field. It's almost like a different sport on Ibrox, isn't it, Wolf?
Yeah, I mean the pitch is huge, and we're going to need players that can do something a bit different. And I think Scott Wright's got that. I mean, he's got pace, and he seems to have a decent bit of ability, a good touch. And I know Kilmarnock will have played against him before. Tommy Wright will have played against him before, but not in the system that we play. So I think he could be the ace up the sleeve on Saturday, I think.
I tend to agree with that. So, Scott, what's your predictions then? What's your predictions come 5 o'clock? What's the score? Many wins are we away for the title?
5, 4.
4.
People keep telling me stuff. Someone says 6, someone says 5. To be honest with you, I just hope we get 3 points. Like I said on Sunday, I was hoping for 3 points to happen. I just want 3 points because I know we drew 4 games, and it seems to be a lot of people. Probably I'm nervous, but I'm not as doom and gloom as some folk seem to think. Celtic's got a chance now and they're coming back, and it's saying I hope we do against Kilmarnock. Then I get beat. We've only lost 4 games. We've won 24 games. Look on the bright side here. I'm a nervous just because we're in for the But if you look at it sensibly, we've not lost a game all season. I don't see us losing against Kilmarnock. The problem, like Scott said earlier, is no team's beating Rangers, it's Rangers beating Rangers. So if we turn up with an attitude, we'll win. So hopefully we turn up, play well enough and get 3 points. I don't really mind what the score is. I just want the 3 points and a good performance.
You're not going to away with that in your first your debut, Scott. I want a prediction. I want a score, and I want your first goal scorer for your cheek.
I tried that, Scott, and I was told, look, if you're not going to get predictions, you're not going to.
I'll say 2-0 and Ryan Jack.
2-0. I'm just writing this down, mate, so I can pull you up for it. That's all I'm doing, because that's what happens in here. And, well, if I come to you last, Cammy, what's your score and your first goal scorer in Saturday?
Well, if, as Stevie Gerrard says, if the best version of Rangers turn up on Saturday, we will get 3 points. I fancy Ryan Kent, first goal, Rangers to win 5-0.
Oft.
You're right.
Take your hand right now, Cammy. I'll take that and I'll go up the road.
I'll go for that.
Wolf, over to you, mate. First goal scorer and match result.
We'll go 3-0 to Rangers, obviously. And first goal scorer, well, Scott Wright, why not? Go for Scott Wright first goal.
Again, I would take that. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win. I think we'll concede, but we'll win 3-1. And I'm going to go with big Cedric Itten to get the first goal. It's amazing that the 4 of us are sitting here tonight and we've said that Rangers are going to win. We're looking at Twitter after Sunday's performance, Kilmarnock were clear favourites and folk were putting their houses on them. So hopefully we can curtail that reaction again this Saturday, because quite frankly I do not want to be reading the dramatics if we drop points on Saturday.